Very good. Then as others come, we'll just accept them, but we can get started because time goes by fast.
It does.
But we're happy you were able to join us. As you know, we have launched recently 4 new COPs, and we've already had in place a few Google groups. So what's the difference, right? What's the dynamic with them? It's normal to feel a little confused at the beginning, right? Or not understanding quite well how they work. So this is what this is for today. So we actually have a little agenda that we have put together. And I'm going to put that in the chat right here to share with you so you can follow along. And there is also a graphic or a little bit of a visual aid that can help us to also understand the difference between joining a group with a regular Google account and or with an Araya Adult Ed account. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen and we can go over the points from the agenda. Before I share my screen so I can see you guys before, what's your idea of a Google group or a COP? What do you think the difference there is? Is it all scrambled?
I'm
Can I be
not
honest?
sure.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have
So
no
you're
idea.
Yeah, yeah. I don't either. I just
I feel better.
And that's okay. Yes, it's totally fine. All right, so let me share my screen and let's tackle those points. Okay. So what is a Google group? Let's start with that. First of all, groups or what's called community groups, right, can be used or can be launched in a bunch of different platforms, right? In our case, in Rhode Island Adult Ed, the platform that we're using is Google. So that means that the technology used for the Google groups is actually the same technology that we use, or technology tool that we use for the COPs. So in general terms, both Google groups and COPs share the same foundation. Okay. Obviously now they are different, and the difference is what we are using it for and how we are managing COPs or Google groups. So for example, with Google groups, practitioners have specific roles, right? And then they would join an appropriate Google group according to that role that they have. For example, if you are a program director, you should be part of the directors group or the DSS group. If you are the CASAS administrator at your program, then you need to be part of the assessment specialist Google group. Another characteristic of a Google group is that there is no facilitator. It's simply an information or a distribution list to send or share information out to people. And you can also use it to ask questions if you have any. Or it's a little more casual communication or sporadic kind of communication. And like I mentioned, there's no facilitator with these groups. So how are we doing so far? What do you think? Google group? Do you have any questions?
So is a Google group, it's a specific place though, too, like you find it in a specific place, but that place is the Google platform.
Yeah, in our
Yeah.
case, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
exactly. And then we're gonna go over that too, how you find them and how to join, where to see how many groups you're a part of. We'll see. We're gonna do that in a little bit. But yes, you're right, Elizabeth. All right, so now what's a COP? Again, like we mentioned, the technology tool used to manage a COP, it's the same. It's a Google platform. So you will see in the same list that you will see the Google groups that you are part of, you will see the COPs that you're part of because the technology tool is the same. Well, another difference from the Google group is that any practitioner can join the COP of interest. So that means that you don't have to have the specific role for it, but if you would like to be part of a particular COP, you can just join it. It's fine. And then another big difference is that COPs have facilitators. So there is someone, let's call it in charge of a COP behind to take the lead, share resources, information, start conversations. So there is a facilitator behind a COP. So also the community that joins a specific COP is they have particular or similar interests. And then deliberately we'll explore and discuss whether it would be, you know, any issue related to that, the topic of the COP. For example, if they need to tackle a complicated issue or, you know, let's say that you are an ESOL teacher and you're having a particular problem in your ESOL class and you're like, I cannot figure this out. You can go to the COP, the ESOL COP and say, hey, I'm having this particular issue. Is anybody else going through the same thing? Does anybody have any advice? You can send that to the COP, and then the goal with the COP is for all other members whom are also ESOL instructors, ESOL coordinators, can come and help you out with whether it would be ideas or perhaps they went through a similar situation. So everybody comes together and kind of helps you out to tackle that issue. That's one purpose for the COP. Another could be also to share resources, to share any repertoire of resources that you may have. And the goal is to grow professionally and within the within your expertise as well. But it's more organized or more deliberate, we might say, the COP than a Google group. So can you notice or can you see the difference between a Google group and a COP?
So for example, the COP would be more focused, where if I was just interested in something, I could join one of the Google groups, but the COP would be focused. So if I wasn't, I don't know, if I wasn't an ESOL teacher, I wouldn't join that COP because that's more specific just for those ESL instructors.
Right. Yes, that's what you would see coming in and out on the COP, the ESOL COP. It's everything ESOL. Marie? Sorry,
So-
I'm trying to mute myself.
I know, we're sitting next to each other, so muting is important. So you're totally right. The way that I think about the difference between a Google group and a community of practice is Google group is just for information. When is the next workshop? Oh no, CASAS is down. When is CASAS going to come up? That was flying around on the assessment Google group, for example, in December because CASAS went down. Here are the notes from the partners meeting from RIDE, for example. The community of practice is where you would go to learn. So if, at Jennifer's example, if you're not an ESOL teacher, then no, you probably are not interested in the ESOL community. But if you're teaching GED, well, you definitely want to sign on to the ABE/GED community because they're going to be talking about everything to do with reading and writing. And right now they're talking about math because tomorrow there is a math workshop on problem solving. And so when we have a workshop, we will support that workshop with conversations, discussion, and sharing in the appropriate community of practice, for example. So this week, the facilitator in that community, her name is Evelyn. She sent some information on, well, what does it mean what's problem solving? So she sent an article, and other people are talking about math stuff in preparation for tomorrow. So that's just so one is like it's almost like your classroom, your PD classroom almost, right? The other one is really a bulletin board. Where do I know what's the schedule? Where are the notes? What time do I go to X? And the Google groups are very important. Don't get me wrong. They're important. If you're a director, you should be on the director's Google group. You'll miss a lot. So they're important for that reason.
That's right, yes. It's more like you were saying, Maria, synchronous learning. That's what the COP is focuses. So does that at least help you to see a little bit of a difference on what a Google group is and a COP is, even though they share the same foundation, right? Same platform, but the purpose is different, and they're organized also in a different way. So how many Google groups and how many communities of practice does Rhode Island Adult Ed have? So we have so far 5 Google groups in the state, and those are the all staff that all practitioners should be members of. We have the directors Google group. It's obviously for the program directors, PLS, LACES, and assessment specialists. So that's 5 Google groups. Are you guys subscribed already to any of the Google groups? Maybe the all staff and any other particularly?
I think for me, just the all staff.
All staff, okay, okay. How about you, Jennifer?
I keep turning it off. I'm waiting for my dogs to bark while I'm home. I think the all staff one.
All
I think
staff. Okay, okay.
so.
Now, looking at the Google groups, only the Google groups, is there any other that you think that you should be a member of according to your role in your particular program? No, okay, good. So you're on the alt staff, that's very important. So now let's go to the COPs. How many COPs do we have in the state? 4. We just launched the ESOL COP, which has a facilitator, like we were saying. All of these 4 COPs or communities of practice have a facilitator. The facilitator for the ESOL COP is Amanda Henley. The ABE-GED facilitator for ABE-GED is Evelyn Robertson. Digital literacy facilitator for digital literacy is myself. And LD designees. And the facilitator for LD designees is Andy Ramirez. Now, looking at the COPs and what they're for, do you think, or does any one of these call your attention that you would like to be a member of? Any of the COPs?
Yes.
Which one is it? What's your role in your program?
Definitely the digital literacy,
Cool.
and I am the LD designee. So
Awesome. Yes, that's perfect. So that's 2. Great.
And I already joined the ABE-GED one, but I can see there would be crossover with digital literacy too. But I just joined the one, figuring like, let's just figure out what it is first before.
Yes, yes. Okay, that makes sense. Good. All right, so now why don't we stop here for a second and let's do a little bit of a practice session. So I'm going to share my screen on the website and let's show you where you can go to actually find all of these Google groups and all of the COPs and join yourself to it. So I'm going to share my screen on the website. which is riadulted.org. I just need to move my tabs for a minute. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you.
Hi,
Welcome, welcome.
sorry I'm late. I knew I had a 4 o'clock, but it just didn't kick until now.
No worries. So just so you have an idea, I'll just put the agenda again on the chat to share with
Thank
you.
you.
And that way you can see a little bit what we are talking about today. Right, so here we are. This is the main page of the riadulted.org website, right? So you can watch now the steps, and then we're gonna do a little, give you guys a few minutes to do it yourselves right here, so we can do it together. So under Educators Home, we go to Adult Ed Info, and then connect to Arrive Adult Ed. Here you will find all Google Groups and all COPs. And it'll give you a little bit of an explanation too, like if you would like to refresh what is about Adult Ed Google Groups and about communities of practice, and you can have a little bit of another idea of what they are. And the way they're organized also gives you or tells you which ones are groups and which ones are communities of practice. So the first 5 are groups. As you can see, for example, the first one, Arrive Adult Ed Alt Staff Group, Laces User Group. So all of the ones that are called group, they are obviously a group or part of the Google group. And then we go down to ABEGD, COP, Digital Literacy COP, ESL, and LD designee. So the last 4 are our COPs. Then you can open them. Let's say, oh, I need to be part of the all staff Google group, right? So you can open it. It gives you a little bit of a description of what the all staff Google group is all about. And then there is a link on the title where when you click on it, it'll take you right to the page where you would join the group. Because I'm already part of it, it'll show me, it shows me the conversations that are happening in this group. And same thing, remember, we said that both Google Groups and COPs share the same platform, right? They're all Google-based and Google workspace. So if we want to join, let's say, the Digital Literacy COP, I open it, and same thing, a little bit of an explanation of what the Digital Literacy Community of Practice is, and the title is linked. When I clicked on it, it'll take me right to the Google group, to the COP, where I would join.
So I'm just assuming that, let me see, hold on. I'm just assuming that because I'm using my phone and I'm not on my computer, that it says I don't have permission to access this content is because I'm not signed in.
No, you're good. The only reason why it's telling you that is because you are not part of the group or the COP yet.
Okay.
So now let's do it together. Let's go on riadulted.org and find the Google Groups and COPs.
Mhm.
And let's see, which one would you like to be part of? We already said digital literacy was a common one for Elizabeth and Jennifer, right?
Right.
Cheryl, how about for you? Which Google group or COP do you think that you need to be part of, or you're still going to be part of? I know we went already, but
I'm already a part of the directors group.
good, yes.
But
That's
the
one that you
COP,
should
I'm
be
not
part of.
sure. I think I should try the GED.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
ABE/GED.
I think so. Yeah.
COP. Perfect, sounds good. So let's try, you can do it from your mobile device as well. So you can use your cell phone
Okay.
to go to riadulted.org. And then you're gonna go to Educators Home.
Mhm.
Let me know when you get there. And we're gonna see Adult Ed Info. to RI Adult Ed. Give me a thumbs up when you get there.
Connect to
Okay,
RA
Elizabeth's there.
Ed, that it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's it. Awesome. Jennifer, you're there. Cheryl, how are you doing?
I'm under educators home. I'm on that. So
Okay.
I
Good.
Okay.
And then you should find a tab or a little toolbar at the top where it says Adult Ed Info.
got it.
Okay. And then it give you a drop down. It'll give you a drop down of 2 options. Click Connect to RI Adult Ed. You're in? Excellent.
I'm in.
Good. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see the whole list of Google Groups first, which we said, how many Google Groups do we have in the state?
5.
5, yeah. And then the last 4 are the COPs. So, all right, let's try joining for Jennifer and Elizabeth. Let's try joining the digital literacy. And Cheryl, let's try joining the ABE GED.
Okay.
Marie?
We have to mute before we talk. So this was the first time that I logged into Rhode Island Adult Ed on my phone. It's very clear. And the little hamburger, you just click on it. And so I had not done that before. Jennifer, are you like totally doing it all on your phone right now?
Yeah, because I'm at home and
Yeah,
I left my laptop at my.
Yeah. I'm just curious how easy it is. It looked very clear. I'm already signed on to these, so I can't like do that. But yeah, so it looks very clear on the phone. That's cool.
I'm gonna see if I can log it. I don't remember what I used. Forgive me. I'm not in my office where everything's written down already, so.
That's okay. No. I just wanted you guys to get a feel for it, at least for you to know where they are and how you can join it. If you're not able to join right now, no worries. But at least you know where to find them and how to do it. So whenever you have access to your actual emails or your work emails, then you could do it. Or if you're able to do it today, let me know. That would be cool too.
I did it and it says that I should wait for an email, but at the same time I got an error message. So I'm not too sure which to believe.
Are you able to share your screen? Are you on a computer?
I am.
Okay.
Let me try to find. Okay.
You can see.
Okay, this is the one. Well, okay, that's the right screen.
Okay. All right. No, you're good. You're good. You selected what you were supposed to. So the top, yep, left corner, it tell you are probably joining with your Genesis email address, correct?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's fine. Actually, do you guys use a Google account in Genesis?
Or
Is Google
work.
based?
Yeah, our work email actually does have a Google thingy
Okay.
to it. I don't know if it's in it, but it does.
Yeah, which is fine. So now we're gonna talk about that now. But you're good.
Okay.
You had to select where it says ask to join.
Right. It says
Group.
join request sent. So I
Yes.
guess it was sent, but for some reason it came up. There was an error message before, but I figured this is no longer highlighted, so it means that I just have to wait for the response to
That's right.
continue.
So
Okay.
now I will get a notification telling me, hey, Cheryl is trying to join this group. And then I'll accept that and you'll be part of the group.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll stop
You're
sharing now.
Okay. That's good. You're in the right place. So, all right, now let's talk about the emails that you can use to join these groups or communities of practice. You will need, because remember the platform that we use for these is Google, right? So we use Google Workspace. So you will need a Google-based or a Google domain account.
Okay.
So for example, in Cheryl's case, Genesis Center uses as their platform, it's also Google. So you're good. You could be part or you could join any group or COP using your work email. How about Elizabeth, Jennifer? Does your work organization use Google or Microsoft?
Yeah, we're Google.
Google, okay. How about you, Jennifer?
We're a Microsoft and I have a Rick Outreach. It's a Google
Okay.
base.
Oh, I see.
Plus I
Okay.
have a private Google too, but I just signed it. I just requested with my Rick Outreach email. So,
Okay, okay. Yeah, so that's the thing. So Elizabeth could also join using your regular work email. And Jennifer, that's good that you have the option, but thinking on programs that have their platform as a Microsoft based, what Rido has done is to have like a workaround, and that's the reason why we have riadulted.org email addresses.
okay.
So if you want to, or I assume that I think actually all of you already have an Adult Ed email address.
I
So-
think I do. I just haven't used it, so.
Okay, if you don't, let me know, because we can always create one for you, or if you don't remember your password, also let me know, because we can reset that as well. But one thing that we have been thinking about and encouraging everyone to do is that because COPs are going to be more active and there's going to be a lot of discussion happening, so you will most likely get more emails. If you subscribe or whatever email you use to subscribe to the COPs, your inboxes are going to be, or the volume of emails in your inboxes are going to be higher. So what we are recommending everyone to do, if you would like to, it's a personal choice, but is if you use your Adult Ed email account, then you kind of have it separate from your work email. And that way you don't get so bombarded with emails that perhaps at the time you might not have the moment or the time to read or to open. But when you have a convenient time, then you can go to your riadulted.org email address and open and read them from there. And it's also helpful not to miss anything. So let me share again the agenda. So we can finish those points. Oh, another thing that is advantageous with having an Adult Ed account is, I'm going to share that. Just to give a bit of a visual aid. You can use, like we mentioned, right? Any Google account or any Google email to join either COPs or Google Groups. So once you join, if you're using an riadulted.org account, you will see the little screenshot here. For example, if it's the digital literacy COP, join group right away, because our Google Groups and COPs are created, or the ownership is under riadulted.org. When you have or you own an riadulted.org email address, it automatically lets you in. All you have to do is click join group, and you will see it right the same way as it is shown here in the picture. Okay, so you won't have to wait for me to see, oh, Shirley's trying to join, accept. No need. You will automatically be in the group once you press join group. Now, if you use any other Google account, like just happened to Cheryl, you will see ask to join group. And then same thing, you will select that and you will ask to join the group. And then is when it will send me a notification and I will have to approve or accept your subscription. So that's the difference between using your Adult Ed account or any other Google account. But the way to join is the same. Go into riadulted.org, finding your groups and COPs. The way to join will be the same. Any questions as of right now? Is it clear? Yes, okay, okay. I want to make sure that everybody's understanding everything. And then, of course, remember too that you need to be signed into an account in order to join any of the Google groups or COPs. 'Cause like if you're, opening and you're not joined or you're not logged into your email address, then it won't allow you to, it won't even give you the option to join or ask to join because you will need to be signed into your email address.
Question for you.
Yeah.
I know that I do have an Rhode Island Adult Ed email, but I'm not even sure what it is.
Michelle,
How-
that's a good question.
Yeah, how would someone in my case access it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So honoraadulted.org is another email address based or the platform used for this domain is a Google-based account. So it works the same way as a Gmail address. So it's just another email basically that you would have.
That part I know, but what I'm saying is when I had initially requested it, because my work email has that Google domain added to it, then I was told that I don't have to worry about it. I do have it, but it's linked to my work email, so everything will come to my work email, which it's working fine. But with joining the COP now, I'm going to be having, like you mentioned, these extra things coming in. So I think, so I would like to go back. I would like to choose the option where everything goes to that Rhode Island Adult Ed email box storage, however you want to, whatever the right term is. But I don't know what the email address is for Rhode Island Adult Ed.
Your actual
Yes,
address. I see.
because I've
So-
never been in that email before.
Okay, okay. Usually what it's Risty is the one in charge of that domain, right? They're right, Adult Ed. So
Mhm.
usually what they do is your first initial, for example, S, and then your last name. So
Okay.
S Buchanan, at ariadulted.org. Usually that's what it is. Most likely you will need a password reset then, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
And
I
that's
can
just
do
the
that.
regular reset, right? I don't have to request it.
No, because it's again an email address under an educational platform. Yeah, I have to reset it for you, basically.
Okay. Please
can do
Thank
that.
you.
All right, so I can have it in front of me. I'll have it here. And yes, just to confirm, it is your first initial, your last name at ariadulted.org.
Perfection.
And I
Thank
will be resetting the password for you, so you can use that feature. Yeah, so that's one of the advantageous things to have on a Riadol Ed account. First of all, it's Google based, so you know that everything in the state will match with it because the state uses Google. But then also with Google COPs and Google groups, you can organize the platforms that you use better, and you can just join without waiting for anybody to accept or allow your subscription.
I think also it was said that those state paid platforms like Ellie and the others that is paid for by the state facilitators would need that to access it.
Yes. So
That's
again,
what
for those, you also need a Google based or Google platform account. And let's say if your program uses Microsoft, then you wouldn't be able to join these software. But now using our Adult Ed gives you access to it.
Okay.
And like others, for example, it also has to do with the agreements that RIDE has had with other softwares or other platforms. Like for example, with Newsella. With Newsella, all you need to have is an ariadulted.org account to join Newsella. like you don't need to email me, for example, to, hey, can you create an account for me on Newsella? No, you can just join as long as you're using an ariadne.org account, because the domain is part of the agreement already that Wright has made with Newsella. So works in conjunction. What else for that? I think it's the same thing with, yeah, like you were saying, Ellie. Ellie, actually, you could do it with your organization email address, as long as it is. Very good. All right, so let's quickly share back the agenda so we can do the last items.
And I'm gonna jump off, but it was really nice to see you all, and I'm glad you're here, you know, learning how to deal with the Google Groups and the COPs. It's really important. It's really important, and I applaud you for coming right away, because I know that there's many people out there who are gonna need this kind of a workshop to help them. So we'll keep offering it, but glad you're here. Nice to see you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the different communities of practice.
Thank you, Marie.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Okay. So then again, if you think that you will need an ariadne.org account, let me know, and we can create that for you as well. All right, we already talked about the differences between using your work Google account and an ariadne account. So just keep that in mind, that the volume of emails from your work account, if you choose to use that, will be higher from the COPs. So if you would like to control that, you could use your ariadne. Another thing that you could do is bypass those emails. For example, you can choose from the settings to just receive emails from the COP sent to your work email if you choose to do that. Okay, so we talked about already what COPs should we join. So you guys already pinpointed that, so that's great. We talked about how to join it. All right, so if we are already a member of a community of practice, what to expect and how can I contribute to it? So as we mentioned, with the COPs, there will be more interactions, more targeted and deliberate. Whether it would be information or questions or any kind of related topics with the COP will be shared in that community of practice. So you can expect to receive basically emails from that community of practice on a weekly basis. How can you contribute? Feel free to jump in if, let's say that somebody is asking for help about a particular resource, and it's something that, hey, I know how to do, or I have encountered the same situation, or feel free to jump in and join the conversations, share your expertise, share your resources, or ask your questions if you yourself are one that is looking for help. Feel free to use the COPs for that, because that's the purpose. It's a community that comes together to practice, right? That expertise together.
And do you do that by just responding to the email, or?
That's
You
right.
don't?
Yes.
Right, okay.
That's right. You will just reply like a regular, you could say they
Mhm.
show on your inbox like a regular email,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, you just click reply and then, type your message and send it.
And it
You will
replies to the
receive it.
whole group, the
It
whole
replies.
unity.
Correct. Yes. To the whole COP group. Another important thing to know is, like, for example, you might be part of a few groups or a few different COPs, right? And the way you identify which one are you're receiving a message from is because we have organized them to, whenever you get a new message from that particular COP, the name of the COP or Google group will be in brackets. So if it is the all staff, for example, it will say in brackets first, RIAE all staff. If it's the ESOL, it will say in brackets first, ESOL, and then the subject line. So that's one way you can recognize which group you're receiving a message from. You probably have noticed that already, right? When you're in the Google groups and the COPs.
I have
It's
now.
important. Sometimes, because you know what's funny, because we didn't have them. I think I missed. I think it was one or two, something like that, where because we manually have to add the brackets on the settings so we can automatically do it when it gets sent to everybody. But I had missed I think of a couple of them or something like that, and then we were like, man, which COP, which Google group was that? Like, I was taking for granted the importance of those brackets. So yeah, that's one way that can help you to know right away what group or community of practice you're receiving a message from. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is you are also in charge of, like, you don't have to be part of a community of practice. It's completely volunteer. And once you're in, you are in charge of it as well. You are in charge of, you know, how many emails or how many messages you get per day. You are in charge of when you decide that you would like to leave. Like, you don't have to rely on anybody to do that. And I wanted to show you how to do that because that's important to know. So let me just open really quick here. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen. First of all, too, how do you know what groups you are part of? Do you know how to find the groups that you are already a member of? All in one
Oh,
place?
yeah. Yes, I do.
How is it, Jennifer?
Over in your account, you can see what you joined, and
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, I was like, my brain was off somewhere. Sorry.
No, that's good. Yes, and there are two ways that you can find them, and I'm going to show you. Share my screen. Okay, so these are the list of groups that this particular account is subscribed to. So one way that you can see it is on the waffle here. You have all of these options, right? And then if you keep going down, you'll find groups. When you click there, it'll show you the list of groups that you belong to. And another way you can do it is by typing on your URL groups.google.com. And once you type that on your regular, Google groups, google.com, it'll take you again to you should take you to my groups where you are part of all the groups that you're part of. So that's one way that you can have control over, right? Knowing the groups or COPs that you belong to. If you would like to try that while we're here, feel free. And then I also wanted to show you that. Let me show you. Okay. So once you go to one of the groups that you belong to, for example, from that list that from this list that we know that this account is a member of, right? Let's pick one. Let's say that you want to know, all right, what's happening with digital literacy, and you want to find yourself here. Okay, these are all the members of digital literacy. And then let's say that you don't want to receive all of the emails at once. You can change that under subscription. We see that right now it's selected to each email, right? That means that you will receive every message that is sent to the COP as soon as it's sent to it. So instantly you will receive it. There are options: digest, abridged, or no email. And digest, you will be receiving messages from it, but only once per day in a bunch of up to 25 messages. And you will receive it in one thread. at the end of the day, or you can select the time also. So messages sent in bundles of 25. Abridged is not something that we would use as of right now because we're not expecting to receive such a large volume of messages. This would be also once a day, but in bundles of up to 150 messages. So you don't have to pay too much attention for this one, at least not right now, because it's not that much of a volume yet. Or you could select no email. And here you would not receive any email, but you're still part of the group. And one thing that you can do if you select no email, you don't want to receive them in your inbox, that's fine. You would just have to be mindful of going to your groups. And if you would like to check out what's happening on digital literacy, you go to conversations. And then here you'll be able to see what's happening on digital literacy. So you can see, oh, Marie sent a message here. Let me open it and see what it's all about. Do you have any questions? Is it clear? At first it's a little confusing, but once you understand, it's like, oh, this is so easy. I hope that you feel that way. And then also, we have been trying to advertise for everybody to know that you can at any point request a one-on-one meeting with either Marie or myself. So if you need help, let's say joining any of the Google groups or COPs, you can feel free to email me directly and say, hey, can we schedule a meeting together? And can you walk me through to do it together? Absolutely, we can do that.
Or if somebody at our organization
That's right.
is very confused but you said at the beginning you would do this again. So if it comes up at a meeting, we could just say, oh, they'll be running the meetings again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we saw the need also to, right, because we've been talking a lot about Google Groups and COPs. So there is something new, right? With something new, there is training involved. So we saw the need to offer this and to offer it in some sort of campaign, we might say, something that we can do regularly until most, if not all, feel like our goal is all the field to feel comfortable and knowing exactly how to find the groups, how to find COPs, knowing what the difference is between them, and the difference in using the email addresses, and just understanding that the usage of them as well. But yeah, so I'm just going to put in the chat here, if you need, or anybody needs help with anything, you can feel free to email the ariadoled.org address. And that will receive, if you need help with your own accounts, or because that both Risty and myself are in there. So if you need help with new accounts, maybe if your staff members from your program need an ariadoled.org account, that's the address that they need to send a request to. And same with also the one-on-one requests or any kind of question, you can feel free to use that. So do you guys have any question or any bit of any comments that you would like to express?
Thank you. Actually, now I feel like I know the difference now. I know where to go to find it. I didn't even know, like, in the waffle there was Google Groups there, and now I do. So those, it feels like, okay, I have a better sense of, I'll know, okay, this is emails are gonna go. I actually am in groups and I didn't even notice the brackets before, and now I'm like, oh, and now I see them. So I feel more comfortable that I know what it is and how to participate, and so
Awesome.
that's good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, no, thank you guys for coming. Like we said, I know today's was more last minute, but we just want to make sure that we provide these type of trainings at different times of the day, different days, because we know that staff and practitioners as it is have different schedules. So we also want to be mindful of that. So ABEGED, let me see, I see your pending request, Cheryl, and I just approved you. So you're in.
Thank you.
Of course. And then just remember, if you use your Araya Adult Ed, you're in, you don't need approval or you need to be waiting.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Of course. And hey, we
Thank
finished
you.
early, so that's good. Let me know any questions that come up, or sometimes I even say sometimes if you need to write it down because you forget, just feel free to send me a message. Send me. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You
Have a
Bye-bye.
good evening. Thanks
I'll be
again.
sharing. Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh.
One more thing. I have an evaluation form that I would like to share with you. If you could please fill it out. Let me share that here. I'll follow up with the agenda and also evaluation form anyways, because if it's helpful to have, for example, in the agenda, the little items explained and the graphic, but kind of having a visual aid, I feel that helps. And then again, if you would like to share it with your staff members or anybody from your program, feel free. I'll follow up.
Great.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.